Hello, students. Welcome to the science class. Since few days we are doing the exercise questions on which we had discussed the objective type of question as well as the scientific reasoning. Today we will do the question answers. Three question answers we will do it today. Tomorrow we'll do three question answers. Okay. So before we go into the question answers, let me tell you that we are doing the chapter number 3, that is the safety and first aid. Obviously all of you know, because we are almost at the end of the chapter, but it's a regular work to remind you that which chapter we are discussing. Okay, so let's proceed. First is the answer the following questions. So, first one, list the ways by which you can put out a fire. Yeah, there are different ways, obviously, you know. So, what are the ways by which we can put out the fire? First one is throwing sand or soil over the fire. So, we are throwing the sand, we are throwing the soil instead we of water. This also a method of putting off the fire. Or also we are pouring the water. Why we are pouring the water has got an advantage, that is it helps to reduce the temperature of the object which is burning. Then for small fire, or maybe the fire which has come out due to electrical circuit, we should use the fire extinguisher. I hope all of you had seen the machine fire extinguisher. The instead of water, some other chemicals are present which we will discuss in the later part, but we can use these fire as an electrical accident or a small scale of fire. In case of the major fire accident, then we have to inform the nearest fire station. In that case, fire extinguisher will also not work, and then we will have severe problems. So it's better to call the nearby fire station. And also, if anyone's cloth catch fire, then the person should be rolled into the ground. You know that because rolling will help to reduce the or control the fire. So we should not add, or we should not throw the water on the fire, rather we should fall I mean throw I mean we should help the person to drop off on the ground and roll in. That will cause to reduce the fire. Okay, so the next question is, what is first aid and why should it be given? So, what is first aid? All of you know that what is first aid, for which we are reading this chapter, doing this chapter. This is the immediate help that can be given to an injured or a sick person before taking him to the hospital. So before we are taking the person to the hospital, we are going giving some treatment at home so that the patient gets the temporary relief and the entire the and we also do something of our own so that the patient so that uh, in order to get temporary relief, after that we can rush the patient to the hospital, because not always the medical center or the hospital is nearby. So by the time accident has happened and we are taking the person to the far off hospitals, in between the time patient may not survive. It depends upon the extent of the accident, but it may so happen that the patient may not survive. So in order to stabilize the situation to some extent, uh, first aid is given. It should be given because proper and promptly given first aid can prevent injury from getting worse, and at time even save a life. Okay, so it has to be one two more thing is very important. It has to be prompt. Prompt means at the time of accident only the overcoming process should have been there, I mean the first aid process. Otherwise, if the accident occurred after 1 hour, we are thinking of giving the first aid, obviously that is not the right case for the patient. Okay, so that is prompt. And another one is proper, that is whichever type of accident has happened, we should know the first aid to be given in that particular accident. Suppose a person has uh, there is a severe wound and severe blood loss, so instead of thinking into that view, we are doing some first aid whatever we know, maybe that is not applicable for the patients who are having wounds, then that first aid would have caused a lot of difficulties for the person, for the patient, which may also be make patient much more sick. So these two things, that is the prompt and also the proper, has to be there. Okay. So the next question we are coming, that is the, what should you do when someone's cloth catch fire? This you know, that is when the person's clothes catch fire, we should cover the person with a thick blanket, carpet or rug. Now, why do we do this? Because the oxygen which is present in surrounding air, it supports the combustion. So that in it is the moment it is adding with the fire is widespread, spreading widely, because there is constant flow of oxygen. So this will cut off the air supply and help in putting the fire. Okay, so we are covering the person with the blanket, so that it is causing the person to be covered up, and the oxygen is not coming, this is not being adding with the water, so we can get, they are uh, it is it is the supply of the oxygen is reducing, and gradually the fire is deteriorating or diminishing. And also after that, we have to make him or her lie down and roll on the ground. Rolling on the ground gradually will subside the fire. So it is not advisable to take the person and put in the water, that can cause damage. But if you apply these methods, like we should cover it with a thick cloth, and we'll do something so that person falls on the ground and rolls on the ground, that will reduce the fire. Okay. So I think by this class you had understood these three questions. More three questions we'll do in the next class. Till then, all of you stay safe. Thank you. And one more thing, please write the exercise questions in your school science copy. Okay. Thank you.